Hello folks, and welcome to the channel and welcome to the Man Cave. So this is not a review video, it's a bit of an unusual video. It's just to give you an update as to what is going on in the life of GSD 321. Now, if you didn't know, the name of the YouTube channel, GSD 321, I just sort of hashed it together. I had some German Shepherd dogs, GSD, and I'm an airline pilot for a living, hence 321 from the Airbus family of aircraft. So I could have come up with a better name, but I was just doing reviews of all kinds of things and not just bike reviews. So anyway, that's how we got GSD 321. So life can throw us a little bit of curveball every now and again. So last year we got thrown a huge curveball as one of our German Shepherd's dogs, Kira. She sadly passed away from dilated cardiomyopathy, DCM, so heart condition, bang, dead. And I was down in France on my motorbike at the time. Yeah, that was a terrible phone call to take. Anyway, so we had that to that was a bad point in our lives. And now our other German Shepherd dog, and you'll see them both in the titles when we roll the titles. The big lad Milo, 45 kilos, 12 and a half years of age, great dog. We haven't got any kids, they are our kids, and Milo has been taken really poorly last week. So kind of at death's door, pancreatitis, wasn't eating, bringing up yellow bile. So we took him into the vets where he's been ever since, so it's 6 days in the vets. We've kind of got down to the bottom of the unwell curve, but still unwell. Not sure if we're on the upslope. Pancreatitis and some other itises going on, namely within the stomach. He's got, severe inflammation of the stomach and all the problems that comes with that, and ulcers in the throat, so he doesn't want to eat. So he's got a feeding tube down his neck, and he hates being anywhere other than home. So in his 12 and a half years, I think he's been in kennels twice. So he's down at the vets now, who are doing a super job. Big whoop to all the staff down there. They do an amazing job. And he just hates it, so he's depressed as well. So very unwell and a depressed German Shepherd dog who just wants to come home. And we're not quite at the option of euthanasia, but yeah, that's what we're coping with at the moment. So the videos aren't coming out as quickly as maybe what they would do, 1 or 2 a week. So that's the reason for that. I don't want to sound depressed, but it's quite a crappy time in my life at the moment, as we haven't got any kids, and he's our big kid actually. And yeah, like I say, you see him in all the videos. I'll try and get him in the back there. He's just a great dog, and that will be really sad if we have to go through the euthanasia option, which some of you would have gone through. We went through it last year with our other German Shepherd, and it sucks basically. Life goes on, as they say. And the other thing that, from a personal point of view, the 321 bit of the title comes from the fact that, yeah, I'm an airline pilot flying the Airbus family. Last year in May, I had chest pains. I've done some videos on it, and basically, long story short, I had heart issues, and I had to have some stents fitted last year in August, I think it was August the 6th, and fighting fit now. And the Civil Aviation Authority at Gatwick, they control pilot licenses and pilot medicals. And if your medical is temporarily suspended, then you have to try and get it back, and they will say, yeah, you're fit to fly. Now, I am not fit to fly. I've done all the tests, passed all those tests, and they still say I'm unfit to fly. So that sadly is the end of my flying career. Even privately, I can't fly privately in little Piper or Cessna aeroplanes. I can't even do that in case I kind of keel over and die basically. So what they say is my coronary heart disease is above the allowable threshold, and I kind of get that, but it sucks. I've done it for 25 years, 13,000 and a bit hours. So yeah, that kind of sucks. What I'm doing now is I'm just going through the process of exiting the business from my airline, one of the largest airlines in the UK. They've got 400 odd Airbus airplanes throughout Europe, white and orange. I'll say no more than that. And I love that job. So I've got to try and find something else. Who knows what I will do, but I will be gone from that business company once I hand my airport pass back and my company iPad, and that will be next week. Then I will be, I will no longer be an aviator. So, folks, you never know what's going on in people's lives, so I'm not going to moan about that. You just got to pick the ball up and run with it and be positive. But I'm hoping that my German Shepherd dog is going to be comfortable, and if we have to go through the euthanasia door, then that's the door we're going to have to go to, and there will be a huge amount of tears for that, and there's already been a huge amount of tears, rest assured, in relation to that. Anyway, so what's going on with the channel? So I'm just finishing a review on this really nice unit from Airline. It's their BM6, cracking bit of kit. That's a 6-inch screen. They do a 7-inch screen, and I'm just finishing the editing on that, and that just slots into your BMW nav cradle. And I have to say, that is one of the best units I've had the pleasure of testing, and believe you me, I have tested a lot of units in the last few years, and to be honest, it's a lot of faff because you've got to take all the stuff off and put this stuff on, but this just slots into the cradle, and it is a cracking bit of kit. Anyway, just wait for the review on that. That should be coming out today or tomorrow. What else is there? Yeah, I've purchased out of my own money. I was actually after a Shui Neotech 3 flippy up helmet. You know, one of those old man's helmets for adventure bikes or sports tourer bikes. And sadly, the Shui just didn't suit me. It gave me pressure points when I tried it on within 5 minutes, and I tried a variety of sizes on. So I went for HJC. My vlogging helmet is a HJC, so I've gone for the carbon Rafa 91, and that is a super, super comfortable helmet. Really like that. And sometimes you've got to think, oh, have I actually got the helmet on, as you drive away with a flippy up lid on? But I'm going to do a review on that. So I've been wearing that solidly for a number of weeks now, and I'm super impressed with that. So that will be coming out soon. And I think there might be a new one coming out for 25, actually, from what I've been told. But the 91 is a cracking helmet, super comfortable for my shaped head. Anyway, other stuff I've got coming down. Well, I've got this. It's a new screen protector from Chiggy. I've got their AOI 6, which they sent me to review, and they sent me the matte tempered glass screen protector. Now I've been down to the Picos. Well, that's another video I need to do. Me and my riding buddy went down to the Picos, so that's sat on the editing suite as well. So that's another one to try and make sense of and not bore you folks stupid. So I did several thousands of miles with the matte glass screen protector on, and basically I would whip it off. I'm not impressed with that one. For me anyway, it kind of just, in sunlight, it made the screen kind of nearly unreadable, and you had to sort of lean over it and cast a shadow. So I paid out my own money for the gloss screen, tempered glass gloss screen from Chiggy. So I'm going to be taking the old one off and putting the new one on. So hang fast if you're going to order a screen protector for your AOI 6. So there's that to do. And in relation to bike videos, yeah, I don't want to make this too long. We're going to go see my German Shepherd dog very shortly down at the vets. And yeah, local BMW dealer, Mansell Collection. They've got a really nice, and it's one of the nicest bikes I've ever seen. It looks really, really fast when it's just parked up, and that's the BMW R1300 RS. So the weather forecast hopefully is going to be good for the next week. So I'm going to get out and go on that and do a first ride review on that BMW R1300 RS. Yeah, it just looks, it's one of the nicest bikes I've seen actually. So I'd be very interested to see how that rides, how that feels in comparison to the 1300 GS, which I've got to say, I'm not a great fan of. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, folks, we all have things to deal with in our lives. We get the odd curveball lobbed our way, and we have to bat it off and cope with it as best we can. Try and stay positive. So that's where GSD 321 is. Thinking positive thoughts for Milo, my German Shepherd, but if we have to cross that bridge and say goodbye to him, then we'll cross that bridge. We don't want it to be suffer. Anyway, have a great weekend. Do all that subscribing stuff, and yeah, cheerio for now. Bye. Cheerio. Here's a quick update. Having seen Milo, we spoke to the vets and they said his condition had improved enough that we could take him home today. So that's what we've done. We've taken him home. So there's still some work to be done with him in relation to medication and all that kind of stuff. But Milo is now at home. Enjoy the weekend.